Furman basketball, the Butch Estes Show.
Welcome back to the Butch Estes Show. And 1 week ago today, it was Western Carolina at the Ramsey Center in Cullowhee, and as expected, that team gave you a pretty tough battle.
Well, I think they were really emotionally charged up for the game, Bob. It was their first conference game and you know, home game and under new coach, and they were playing well. They were 3-1 after Christmas going into our game, and you know, we ran into a bunch of hot catamounts, I can tell you that.
Let's go ahead and take a look at those highlights of the ball game. Furman at Western Carolina.
Bob, that's not one of the starters there. I can assure you he didn't shoot as well as they did.
I bet you wish that was one of the starters.
Well, after the way they played, I certainly do.
They don't have a lot of fans in there, and as we talked last week, that probably took away their home court advantage when they went to the new arena.
Well, it did, and you say not a lot of fans. I think they had 3,000 or 4,000 there, but the students were gone because it was Martin Luther King holiday weekend.
Joey Brooks on the inside, he played really well.
Well, Joey's just, you know, with the exception of maybe one game this year, he's been very consistent for us. And, you know, it was good to see Sean Reed come out of his slump and start really playing well. And there, a good shot of John Castile doing what he does, rebounding and then putting it back in for us.
Looks like John's been shooting from the outside a little bit more in recent games.
Well, he really needs to, because people are defending our guards and keying on our guards, and that opens up a lot of stuff for, you know, our inside people. And, you know, there you see Joey Brooks on a nice feed and coming back out. But John has to score. All of our inside people do.
That was a nice skip pass there by Tracy Garrick over to Sean, who uses the glass pretty well.
Right. He noticed he had a pump fake and dribbled away from the defense, something we work on every day in practice.
Western Carolina is going to come down here and score, and they were great in the ball game most of the way.
Well, they really were, and the guy that just hit that jumper, Robert Hutchison from Brevard, North Carolina, was a guy that walked on up at Western, and he has really, we followed Robert's career. We recruited him when we were at PC, and he's really done well. Jarrod Crosby, as you see, you're getting that rebound, is really coming on and playing much better recently, and rebounding and playing great defense, and even scoring a few points for us, which really helps.
There are a lot of great players in the Southern Conference, but I think you probably have the best guard tandem with David Brown and Sean Reed.
Well, we're really pleased, and I think, you know, another guy that adds to that's Neil Garrison and Tom Chase coming off the bench. They did a nice job. There you see Jerry on a straightaway banker. I'm not sure Jerry playing that bank shot, but we'll take it anyway.
There's Herb Cruzen, the interim head coach for Western Carolina. Another shot from the outside for the Cats.
Well, they were hot. They shot extremely well. They shot like 50% in the first half, and I told our kids at halftime, I said, there you see Tom Chase, and making a nice move, and we weren't successful there, but Tom's played well. But anyway, I told our kids at halftime, I said, they can't keep shooting like this, and I was wrong. They shot 70% in the second half.
That shot by Chase was right there at the end of the first half, and actually that shot by Western was really at the end. And you took a 2-point lead going into the locker room.
Well, we had a couple of places there in the first half where we built up like a 10-point lead, but we couldn't hold on to it. And we really had to come out and play a good second half, and I thought we did, but Western played equally as well.
Neil Garrison's basket puts you up by 5, but then Western Carolina makes a run early in the second half, and they're able to take it inside on you here.
Well, that's Godey there, the junior college transfer from Lake City, and overall I thought we did a nice job of keeping him in check. He's been getting 20-some points there. You see him again on the drive. He's a very aggressive player that looks for his offense all the time, and you can tell as Western comes down the court, they're fired up. 59-58, Western Carolina has scored 6 unanswered points, and here comes a three-pointer here. Well, you know, that's just another example of how well they shot the ball, and the emotions were beginning to flow. You can see the fans in the background, and this is when we call timeout with 4:48, and things didn't look real bleak. It looked pretty bleak at this point, but we made a lot of nice plays down the stretch here, and you'll see a couple on the film.
I'll tell you what, though, there's Joey Brooks, but most teams on the road, when they get behind like that late in the game, when the other team has a run, they fold.
Well, I think if I could give credit to anything, it would be our experience. You know, we got 5 guys out there right now that you see on the film. There's John going inside and pitching it back out to Sean, and one of the 2 3-pointers that really cut the lead. And, you know, we just made the right decisions and played with a lot of poise. You can see the scoreboard there in the background, tie game 71-71. Here, I think they make a free throw late, and 51 seconds, they're up 2, but we still come down and make another big play.
Sean Reed with 2 3-pointers, and I think I'm going to remember that for a long time.
Well, and here's the guy that makes the pass is John Castile. He made both of those to Sean and found him. He just took what was available, and Sean cashed in.
Sean, of course, a senior out of Toledo, Ohio, and that's only about 20 seconds to play. Furman is up by 1. There's Coach Estes better have.
The #1 fan right there.
And there was a foul on the inbounds play. Were you going for that foul?
No, we were just trying to deny, and they ran into us. And, we were trying to deny, and, of course, there we make it. We call timeout because we have a 3-point lead, and we want to remind our guys to go into a 3-point defense here and not allow 3-point shots.
And now they're going to go for the 3-pointer, but they didn't get it, and you win by 3. Welcome back to the Butch Estes Show, coming at you this afternoon from the Furman University Dining Hall on the Furman campus in Greenville. And Wednesday night, you traveled over to Clemson. Of course, the conference game is a little bit more important than a non-conference game, but this one had to be very important personally for the coaches and the players.
Well, I think it does. I don't know if it's bragging rights because the South Carolina-Clemson rivalry is so intense, but yet we welcome our chance to play Clemson University, and it's a chance for us to play an ACC school. And, of course, if you were successful, to gain some recognition, but also being so close, the two schools being so close, there's a lot of alumni both ways, and it was a great game, well attended. We were the biggest draw of the year over at Clemson, and there were a lot of Furman fans there too. At Little John Coliseum Wednesday, here come the highlights. Here you come out at Little John Coliseum. They had a good crowd there, about 8,000 fans.
Well, I was really pleased. I was glad for the Clemson people that we could draw and have a good contingent of fans there, and I noticed that was as much as Virginia and Maryland had on the same night up in Virginia. So, the Clemson-Furman rivalry is really becoming a good one.
They have the big guys in the middle, of course. Here comes Tim Kincaid, gets it over to Eldon Campbell. And I guess one of your goals was to try to get Campbell in early foul trouble.
Well, it was, and ironically, we didn't try to do it offensively by taking it to him. We tried to do it defensively by getting it inside. When he got it inside, trying to build a wall around him and drawing some charges, and it worked. Again, there you see a follow. We didn't have many of those because they really, as the night went on, they did out-rebound us. But early on, John Castile doing what he did. I should give John credit. He came away with 9 rebounds against a team like this.
Beautiful shot by Sean Reed, going to his left and shooting with the right hand. That gave you a 3-point lead early.
Well, we had a nice lead early, and I certainly think, we came ready to play with Clemson eventually. I mean, they're an awfully good basketball team. There you see some powerful moves right there by Pryor, who just took the ball very aggressively to the basket. And there you see one of the charges that we drew early, and that was our whole game plan.
Coach Cliff Ellis, I don't think liked the call too much, but
Gary Churchill played well. He knew the going was going to be rough inside, so he moved outside and hit several key jumpers, which really helped us along the way.
Not saying anything about Gary, but I personally didn't know he could shoot like that.
Well, I don't think Gary would want to make his living out there, but he, certainly, and there's a great inside move, perfectly executed play, screen on the baseline. Joey makes a 3-point play, but going back to Gary, I think he's just, our big men got to shoot those shots occasionally, keep them honest.
Dale Davis on the inside. He's a big horse there from Toccoa, Georgia.
Nice-looking freshman. He's really going to be super for Cliff and all the Tiger fans.
Getting in here toward the end of the first half now.
There's one of a few Grayson Marshall turnovers. Grayson's going to break the ACC record for the most assists, and I'm glad he didn't do it against us. That's not what you call high percentage shot there, but it was right at the end of the half, and Sean had to put it up. And, of course, here are the horn sounds. And, we struggled a little bit in the first half there. We went through about a 9-minute spurt where we didn't score. We had some turnovers. We actually had some good shots but didn't convert. 35-27, so you're definitely not out of it. You come right back into it in the second half. David Brown with the 3-pointer. Well, that was nice. He got a screen from Sean Reed. They were in a triangle and 2. They kept rotating their defenses. And of course, here's was maybe the difference in the game, even though that's just one of many shots. But Eldon Campbell, he's such a nice player inside with a great touch and had the height. There's Tracy Garrick had just made a mistake at the other end. It was so good to see him come back down the court and be aggressive offensively and take the ball right to Clemson.
So you're really right with Clemson. It really has to make you feel good. The smaller players, a small school, academic school, going up against a team like Clemson and holding tough.
2 years ago, Bob, to be quite honest, we did feel good. There's a nice pass in Church on a nice hook. Gary really played a great game. Reminded me a lot of his Marshall game last year up in the tournament. But we were very disappointed we didn't win. I certainly think Clemson has a great team, but it is a compliment to our kids that we play with them. But at the same time, we were very disappointed we didn't come away with a win.
Gary was hitting nothing but net from the outside. Not only
he looked like Larry Bird in this game. He's shown.
And that makes it 61-60 in favor of Clemson. And this is getting late in the contest, so it's anybody's contest.
And here's where do they go? Right down inside to Campbell. And, I appreciate, again, Gene and David doing good camera work here and showing you really how Clemson did take it out on us. They went inside, and these shots are late. We're trying to pick up down press, but too little, too late. I honestly, you see a few of the fans leaving there, but our kids never quit. We made a run. As the last shot just wouldn't fall.
And I think it was pretty obvious, listening to Coach Cliff Ellis, that you scared him. 76-65, the final score, Clemson over Furman on Wednesday night at Little John. Still an 11-point setback at Little John Coliseum. Coach, what did you tell the ball players after the ball game?
Well, I was a little bit disappointed. I had kind of an empty feeling in my heart. I know the first year or so that we've been here, if we kept it close, we felt good. But this year going in, we felt like we could compete with them. And to have the loss and, of course, have as many opportunities to win the game as we did really made it hurt a lot. But I think our kids rallied from it. Of course, like any other loss, you want to learn and go on.
We introduced you to one of the fine Furman players, and this week it's going to be the junior forward from the state of Florida, Tom Chase.
Tom Chase is one guy who doesn't seem to have an identity problem. Where when the junior from Kissimmee, Florida gets into a game, everyone knows that he's the three-point man. Chase hits better than 55% of his threes, and more than half of his total points have come from way out there.
Coach Estes, he has the faith in me to shoot that, so I'm going to take it when I have the chance. If I'm open, I'll take the shot. I have confidence in it that I can make it, so if it comes, then I'll go ahead and take it.
And Tom also seems to be taking advantage of his playing time, something that he didn't get much of the past 2 seasons.
You always have the confidence in your playing ability, and you just wait your turn. It pays off. Your hard work pays off, and you're going to get your chance. So I'm just trying to make the most of my chances.
But you can't play all the time, especially in the Furman system. And when Tom's not on the court, he also makes the most out of that time.
I really like to watch and see basically what the guy I'm going to be guarding is doing. See if I can pick out some little thing in their offense that for defensively that I can pick up to know when it's coming or whatever, or else see what's working and not working in our offense to see if I can come in and help it out, get things going again or keep it going, whatever the case may be.
Tom is a chemistry major, and like most all of the Furman athletes, the education that he gets in Greenville is more important than what he does in basketball.
It really is. As a freshman, you come in, you've got to go to mandatory study halls. You have to maintain a minimum grade point average. They're serious about academics here, and which they should be. And that's one of the things that steered me towards Furman, is because the main goal is to get an education. And in the process, we're playing some good, fun basketball, too. So it's a good all-around experience for all the players.
Coach, maybe one comment from you about Tom Chase.
Well, I think Tom, without question, is one of our most improved players, and I think our style of basketball really fits Tom perfectly, and that helps make him a better player.